welcome tonight. Sorry, we always mess up this transition. I'm sorry. Hello, welcome to tonight's Hive Weekly. I'm That's So Alicat, your host, and tonight we're joined by two amazing guests that I'm going to be interviewing. And also, Catherine might be like slash co-hosting, but we'll get to that. We want to welcome everybody to our stream. If you are new, make sure you hit the follow button and feel free to ask questions in the chat. We'll try to get to it. But first, let's thank our sponsors, NFL alumni, Corsair, and EST TV. I guess I should remind you guys that there will be a giveaway tonight. It's a Corsair headset. Last week I forgot that like halfway in. But yeah, if you have any questions how to enter, all the information will be in the chat. And also later on we'll be having some Overwatch for you guys. So without further ado, let me introduce Catherine, or let Catherine introduce herself, because she decided not to give me her bio. So you guys have always heard me say, "Oh, Catherine, don't put me in that 1v1. Oh, no, Catherine, you shouldn't be nervous. That's a bad idea." Well, this is the face to the name. She's amazing. She's the reason why I'm here hosting this each week. And she makes a lot of things possible, including the giveaway and things like that. All the special guests, like tonight's guest, which is amazing. I'm really excited about it. So I'm trying not to like be too crazy. But I'm really excited because I did watch the Gamers Award, and I was so excited because I even like streamer mutuals and friends that I knew were nominated. But okay, Catherine, introduce yourselves.
Okay, thank you. I'm Catherine Amukte. I'm the founder of Esports College and Career Pathways. But before I say anything else, I have to say a heartfelt thanks to Alicat because she's been with us. I want to say from
Cut
the
the feet,
beginning.
Shar. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, and Char too. No, but no, really, Alley Cat has been with us before the beginning of the beginning because when we just was sitting around thinking about what we can do in the space of women in gaming and how we can support each other, Alley Cat was already with us and she was supportive of us, gave us some great ideas. And I don't know if Alley Cat even remembers this, but I met her through Terrence. And Terrence, if you don't know him, he is a professional Hearthstone player, so uber chill. I don't think he even told me he was a professional player. He just kind of like I found out on my own talking to him. And one day we're talking about women in gaming. I'm so passionate about it. And he says, "Oh, I have a girlfriend and she kind of streams." I'm like, and I looked her up. I'm like, "Oh my God, she more than kind of streams. She's phenomenal." And so anyway, that's how we found Alley Cat, and she's been with us from the beginning. This
It's
is
such a
stream number
setup, like
12.
it is. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's stream number 12. Can you believe that? So anyway, talking about what esports culture career pathways is that we're really here to truly try to have some impact. And so in the space of women in gaming, the idea was that we have these weekly streams and we grow our following and support women in gaming very organically. So I want a huge shout out to ESTV and particularly Corsair because they give us something to give away every single week. I so appreciate them. We used to have a couple of followers and a couple of viewers to what we are today, and we hope to keep growing every week. So basically, that's what we're here for. That's why we're doing what we're doing. I would love in chat if you want to give me some ideas of what topics you want us to cover. We're here to really support the community, build a supportive community, shine more light to it, so that we have more girl gamers and not just grow gamers, because I think that's an obvious one, right? But more people like Alley Cat, who is out there streaming and being supportive. And also of our special guest today, Rebecca, who's an executive who supports the space in a very organic way. So that's me in a nutshell.
um. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about gamers, which you might hear me say gamers, which is how it's actually pronounced, but we could emphasize the H a little bit because it's spelled GAMHERS, as you can see in Rebecca's. So we're gonna tell you about them first. This is from their website, very exciting, by the way. Uh, they are four incredible, passionate, nerdy women dedicated to building authentically inclusive communities for women gamers by centering all of them. Our colorful background brings together various life experiences and skills from toy inventing, esports, race relations, and social justice. Our passion for facilitating a space that all women can enjoy is matched by our dedication to bringing you the best that all gamers have to offer, which is spell gamers, like I just told it. That's pretty cool. So this is Rebecca Dixon. Rebecca is an experienced entrepreneur with a history in advertising, marketing, event planning, and building authentic and engaged communities. Rebecca is skilled in advertising. Wait, did I just read that twice? Entrepreneurship, account management, content management, customer relations, market research, negotiation, networking, presentation skills, sales, and marketing strategy. Woo! Rebecca sold her parenting educational platform to a New York City media company in 2016 and is currently the co founder of The Gamers, a community for women video gamers, and is the brand relations at Alcon's children's licensing and entertainment company, CraneCon. Al is the former CEO of 4Kids Entertainment. Oh, I remember that. I did cartoons. Okay. How are you doing, Rebecca? Welcome.
I'm doing great. I think a lot of that was from my LinkedIn, so I think I need to update a little bit of it. But it's so great to be here. I'm thrilled to have gotten in touch with Catherine and the gamers. I'm excited to represent them and just to talk about what we're doing to support and amplify and elevate women in gaming and to change the future. So thank
Yeah,
you
and
for having me.
yeah, no worries. And of course, I like I said in the intro, I heard about you guys. I think it wasn't the first time I've seen glimpses, but the really where it caught my eye was when you guys did the award show late last year. So can you tell us just like a little bit about the org and everything that it kind of does leading up to the
Absolutely.
award show?
Yes. I have, as our website alluded to, I have three co-founders. We're all women, and we started the Gamers last March. And basically, the idea behind the company is we're a social networking and media platform for women who game. And as the two of you obviously know, and probably a lot of people who are tuning in tonight, there are 2.7 billion gamers in the world, and about half of them are women. And that there are a lot of things about this. Number one, a lot of people don't even know that statistic. I would say that statistic is not really represented in the media. It's not represented in the protagonist in gaming and the storylines. It's certainly not represented on the professional side of developers, designers, all sorts of careers in the gaming industry. And unfortunately, there is a pretty high level of toxicity and harassment and sort of negative experiences for some women. But what there also is a lot of wonderful, joyful, successful stories of women in gaming. Just like the two of you. And so what we want to do as an organization is to amplify and celebrate all of the wonderful things that are happening for women in gaming, so that younger women can visualize a career to a path, a path to a career in gaming, and also create safe spaces for women in gaming to meet each other. So that being said, you mentioned the award show. We started our sort of the mission of our company. We started across all of our social platforms to build them up, to amplify the women, and then we were really, I think, put on the map in the industry with the awards. And what the Gamer Awards did is honor 25 women across different aspects of the industry, everything from streaming to cosplay to esports to college esports. And it did exactly what we had originally set out to do. It amplified women that are doing awesome things in gaming, brought to light the fact that there is all this success going on, and it just sort of started the conversation. Yeah, and that being said, there certainly are other organizations. There are a lot of nonprofits that are really doing an incredible job to highlight, both some of the problems that need to be solved, some of the great things that are going on. But we really felt like we needed to, found our company as a company, as a media company to bring to light all of this. And then so that's what we are. A big initiative of ours coming up in 2021 is the launch of our matchmaking app, and it's
Ooh.
matchmaking between women who want to game with each other. And
Oh
that's
wow.
not to say that women don't want to game with men; they do. But
Yeah.
all the ways that they well, and you can certainly speak to that more than me, but all of the ways that currently exist to find other women to game in the thousands of interviews that we've done at trade shows and in surveys and in person before the world shut down show that there's something left that there's a hole that could be filled, and our app is going to to be that. And so we're super excited. We've gotten so much positive feedback. We work with a lot of the other organizations who are already doing addressing this issue in slightly different ways, and we hope that we can move the needle.
That's awesome. Um,
Yeah, you know what I want to say, Rebecca, that I really applaud you for that work because how this all started actually with the Hive is that I was talking to Lithia and her team's playing after our interview. And one of
yeah.
the things that she came to me, she's a coach, right, for an all women college. There are 37 of them across the United States. And the first thing during our first meeting together was she was saying there's really no place for them to compete. Like, they're not, it just started, right? It's an inaugural year. Where are we going to go compete? Where are we going to find? And they want to compete in that competitive team, not someone they're going to get slaughtered, nor are they going to be so great that they're going to slaughter somebody else, right? And
Right.
also a safe environment because I'm a former teacher and a high school teacher, and that's how I started in esports. In that the first thing, I taught like five, sessions of engineering throughout the day, and you're right, half the women are gamers are female, but when it came time to competition, they didn't want to play. It's always I'm not good enough. Who am I playing? So it always is. I think that's how this whole thing all started was that let's find a community they can all play in and be safe and be competitive. So I think that your app of finding, networking for these female gamers is really going to be essential to the space.
I think it's true. And, the college aspect that you referenced is a really important one. We're actually launching a college chapter program in the next couple of months
Wow.
because that's where a lot of gamers are. And I think another thing that's important that you just made me think of is this. So you said 50% of the gamers are women, and some of, that not 50% want to compete. It's not normal. And then something that's happening is gaming. We're at this moment in time where gaming and entertainment and music and just life and the way people interact, it is all becoming, it's one. And so for people who say, wow, 50% of women game, well, I don't know anyone who games.
Right.
It's just not true. It's changing. My daughters are the way they are interacting with their kids. It's not on a typical social network. It's on Roblox. And that's sort of just the beginning. And so we're all going to need to normalize women in gaming, amplify them, give them the same opportunities. Start when they're younger, so that they see the women who are older, so that they go to the colleges, that they get the development. Because I mean, my goodness, we were talking about girls in STEM when I was a kid,
Yeah.
and it's gotten better, but it's the
Nowhere
social.
near where it
Yeah,
should be.
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah,
Right,
it's
exactly.
funny
exactly.
because STEM used to be a woman uh dominant field, and then it just got taken over. I really love that you guys started to as media, because it was so funny today. I was filling out an application for something, and they were asking me like, what would you like to see more for like women in esports? And I was like, we need to like know them. We need to know who's
Exactly.
in gaming. For women, a lot of people say, well, we don't know like a popular woman gamer or a pro gamer that's popular and stuff like that. And that's because usually we don't get the media attention. So I really love that. That's part of like gamers, and also for Catherine as well, is to kind of like amplify women, because that's so important. A lot of times even when we ask for interviews, people are like, well, should I mention this? Or if I
Yeah.
say something like really good about them, they're like, oh, don't say that. I'm like, no, we need to tell everyone, because it's just like super important for someone else to hear it, like, oh wow, you could do this in gaming. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, it
Right.
is really important. And I have to tell you, as we were first founding our company, just like any startup, we didn't know at the beginning how we would define ourselves. We knew what our mission was, and we
Mhm.
also knew that we wanted to found as a company, but we weren't sure if how to describe ourselves exactly. And we have come very clear on that point that we are a media company, and the purpose of the media company is to amplify women in gaming. And one way we're doing that is through our app, and through the awards and through lots of other events. I mean, we have a really fun event going on right now, the Dream Stream, which is a
Ooh.
continuation of the success of the awards. Where so we had winners in each category, but we also had finalists who were awesome and who got super. It was such a special event, the awards, because even the finalists were so happy to have the opportunity to be honored, and they should be happy. They deserve it. And so now we're honoring all the finalists in the Dream Stream, and it just continues that idea of what we originally said, when we were first starting, celebrating and amplifying the women in gaming. And I think the other thing that just made me think about, you were saying sometimes people will say, well, I don't know, I don't know the women. And there are streamers, and that's a super important category that needs to be amplified. But there are so many other aspects of the gaming industry it also needs to be amplified. So let's say, you have a little girl who loves to game, and maybe she's not going to be good enough to get an esports scholarship, or even doesn't have the capacity to become a streamer. What about all of the other careers that are wonderful careers where you can still be involved in gaming? I mean, not just even development and design, but what about event planning? Like, there's a big event portion of the gaming world, which is huge. And then the management of all the different teams and the production side of it. I mean, sort of the framework for many industries exist all around the gaming industries, and those are great, great things to be amplified and talked about, and again, just normalized. And so we're grateful for the response that we've gotten from the industry. And I think I started out by saying I have three co-founders. We're all women. We have experience in community building. We have experience in social justice issues. We have experience in just initiatives that bring to light the wonderful things that women are doing. So we're super excited to be doing this in the gaming industry, and we're honored to be here tonight.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So, I was gonna say, with like all the changes that happened in 2020, how did that like affect your org, or like how did you? Because even for the award show, I saw everything was like remote. Like, was that supposed to be like outside somewhere?
No, it's
Um,
interesting. Yeah. So we launched in March.
okay.
Um, I think we launched March 3rd. And then
Wow.
COVID, I always think of COVID having really affected my life in a big way on March 13th, because I have young kids, and that's when their spring break started, and we just like
Wow.
went to visit my parents, and we never ended up leaving for a few months. Um, so we launched in March. 2 weeks later, COVID hit, and then all of the social justice movement really got some obviously, as we all know, came to
Yeah.
the forefront, which that also, I think, just brought to light a lot of the topics that are for women. And I think one thing I haven't said on this show, that obviously I want, just to make sure it is obvious, I want to say, our name is the Game Hers, and it's women, of course, femme identifying, non-binary, and all marginalized communities. And we have a big DEI initiative, because really the issues that women face in terms of statistics and whatnot are across all of those categories. And so I actually have to say, we don't know anything other than launching this company right before COVID and the social justice movement happening. But I think that those were both sort of situations that, listen, gaming was already exploding before
Yeah.
COVID, and the issues facing women, and all of the other categories that we're focused on, were already what they were before this summer. But if more people are sort of paying attention to all of it, then I think that's just it's sort of a positive situation. What I will say that we don't know is what the future is going to bring, but we're always strategizing for, I started hearing recently, post pandemic. So I think post pandemic for us, the awards show, we'll have to see. We had a really good experience having it virtually, but would we consider having an aspect of it in person? I think we do want to make it accessible to everybody. So I would, go on record as saying I don't envision it ever being not having a big virtual component, because we want
Yeah.
everyone to be able to come. But there could be something in person, possibly. Who knows?
You never know.
Yeah,
That's
with the COVID, I think I want to say that, we talk about exposure, right? And
mm-hmm.
shining light on stuff. And that toxicity is one of the things that we're very passionate about, working on, and inclusiveness and diversity. And so I think that as in the beginning of the pandemic, and I, I was going to say that, Gamehurst is a pandemic child because, it was
Yeah.
born in the pandemic, right? And we were not born very much before that. So I think that we're kind of used to our company and our associates and partnerships are kind of used to the pandemic world. Um, but we found that as the pandemic progressed, there were a lot of companies and orgs so like, oh my gosh, we have money to spend in PR and media, right? And that we can't do it in person, so let's spend it online. And I think one of
Mm-hmm.
the greatest things that's happened is that more lights are shining on the issues in esports, and the more lights that we can shine, more eyeballs on it, the better off I think we all will be. I think it'll show when things are not working, when it's toxic, when that is, how we can get rid of it. Um, I was doing a talk a couple of years ago, and we were addressing some high school girls who were going to go to college and had a STEM focus. And so I did a survey and I asked, what do you want to see happen, right? What's one thing if you could make a wish that can change, girls in STEM, girls in esports, and so on. And overwhelmingly, the survey came back that they really want to see the boys in the room also amplify and also support the cause. And they realized that without the boys doing that, we're never going to get there by ourselves, right? We can stand up for ourselves. We can show more women in doing various roles and identify. If you see it, you believe it, you can do it. But I think on top of that, one of the key things I don't ever want to kind of gloss over is I want boys and men to be involved in the cause. Like to be on
Yeah.
stream,
Yeah.
talking about their point of view.
I would have really regretted getting off of this conversation with that topic having not come. So thank you for bringing it up. As far as the gamers specifically are concerned,
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure to state that we actually have a lot of men in our community, and
Yeah.
why that works is because we have like a no tolerance policy, but we actually not only have them, we encourage them because of exactly what you just said. The normalization of women in gaming and in the gaming industry and in development is not going to happen without the support of men. And so if you think of it, we've done a lot of networking with all different sides of it, certainly primarily with our community, but also with the industry side of it, because as we get bigger, we envision a lot of in fact, we're running a professional boot camp in March,
Wow.
talking about resumes and all different sorts of things for getting into the industry. And it's gaming, but also, also tech.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to think about it this way, like it shouldn't be a conversation, or where the goal is for us to get to a point where at a publisher there's not a conversation about like, well, I don't know if we have a woman as the protagonist, will that turn off a lot of people? Like that conversation just shouldn't have to happen, because I mean, obviously not, because it's just normal. But I think
Yeah.
those conversations do have. And so how that is to get men behind it. And again, the topic of amplifying, talking about what are that are happening is there are a lot of men behind this. They're just
Mm-hmm.
there can just always be more. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think Rebecca, talking about what's normal, right? We changing
Yeah.
that, move that needle is going to take a while. It's to be a
yeah,
little slow going, but I think you're absolutely right. In the perfect world, it's normal to have a woman, whatever it is. So a couple of weeks ago, Alicat had a host, a stream that
Mm-hmm.
focused on different roles of women in the esports ecosystem. From we talked about graphic designers, we talked about programmers, and we talked about broadcasters. One of the things is that we
Coaches.
want to
Yeah.
showcase like women coaches, for example. And
Yeah.
we have Alithia coming on next, but by and large, they're not that easy to find.
Yeah.
Or women that are team managers, or women that are or head coaches or athletic directors in colleges that are heading up the esports program. So I think,
yeah,
like you said, I think exposure, lights on the scene, showing that women can do it, just like
Yeah,
why
it's
wouldn't they be
just
able
like
to?
we don't want to just show women. We just want to be a part of it. Like we just want to be in it as well. Like it's just like when we talk about, like, for me, it's like the streamer stuff. Half the time they think it's men, and I'm like, what?
yeah,
You know,
Right,
it's like,
right.
but it's just we just want to be a part of the conversation when they're talking about, players or just really hard workers in the industry, because there's a lot of notification in this industry, like when people get noticed, and a lot of times it's just you do see a lot of men, you don't see a lot of women.
Yeah.
But
No, that's
like
true.
I said, like there's team owners now that are women. The Evil Geniuses team owner is a wonderful, awesome woman. They actually just debuted. I don't know if you guys saw this. It was like yesterday, but they
Yep.
debuted such a great Valorant team, and it was so diverse.
Mhm.
Everybody looked at it and was like, "This is normal. This is like what we supposed to be getting out of these teams." It had men and women, and different backgrounds, and
Yeah,
it's
we
not
it was
something that we could look at and be like, say anything about it. It's not completely obvious, but yeah. Oh, go
No,
ahead,
you're
Rebecca.
right, and I love that you brought that up. We actually our team just had a call with Nicole LaPointe Jameson, the CEO of
Yes.
Geniuses, and she is so dedicated to that idea of exactly everything that we're talking about. And one thing I want to say on the topic of be normalization is the gamers has a really active Discord, and so for anybody who's watching, I'd love you to join our Discord, because one thing that we're really committed to is to listening to what our community wants, and then trying to change and do, and and make those sorts of things happen. So whether it's events that we could plan, topics that we could cover, maybe different like when we launched our awards, we realized we left out a categories, and so we added them. And we also have our app in development. We have a feedback group for that. So there are just so many ways, if anybody's interested in learning about not just interacting in our community, which is a great thing in and of itself, but actually trying to be part of making this all happen. Please join our Discord, and you'll find everything about us there. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. And applaud, really, really applaud to you, you, Rebecca, and your three other co-founders for a great organization. I've been following you guys for a while. Actually, to be honest with you, you've done so much since March that I thought you've been around for a lot longer than that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, really kudos to all the things you've been able to accomplish, getting in front of these female, leaders and kind of talking about what's needed in the space. I think that's really how it all starts.
It really does, and I'm just super honored to be here tonight. So thank you both for having me. And I speak on behalf of all of my, not just my co-founders, but we also have an incredible team of women, and all the majority of our team are all big gamers themselves, and so we need that for input and feedback. And I just on behalf of all of us, thanks for having us, and we're really excited to work together moving forward.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
We're very excited as well. Thank you so much.
Thank
Um,
you.
Oh yeah.
thank you, Alley Cat.
Oh
Guys.
wow.
Bye,
But
Alex.
really, you should just. I was gonna say, Rebecca, do you have where can people find like the links, Twitters, anything you want to like promote? Go for it.
Yeah, so we're easy. We're the gamers everywhere.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we're the gamers everywhere. I'm a good place to find me, if especially if anybody's interested in the more professional side, is on LinkedIn. And
Yeah.
I'm Rebecca Dixon. And but other than that, at the gamers. So we're just yeah, that's it. Come find us,
Wow.
follow us,
Sean
engage
got
with us.
time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really awesome. And thank you so much for taking the time out to come in with us. I hope we can have you back again, and maybe like some of your
Oh,
co-founders.
I hope so too. I would love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a really awesome conversation. That's why I like doing this. Every week it's always somebody really interesting, and they just bring so much to the table. And again, you guys, I mean, it's been 12 weeks of just, even when you guys hit the same points and it's different episodes, I'm like, yes, because a lot of times people really don't believe us. They
Yeah,
think it's like a myth. I'm like, no, like you can work in the gaming industry. They need accountants, marketing, all types of
exactly.
things. And
Yeah,
even like there's a lot of transferable skills now, especially even there, you could even be a therapist in esports, believe it or not.
yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's just really cool to have orgs, especially you and Catherine, to both have orgs that bring this up into the spotlight. And I can't wait to see what both organizations do, because you both are amazing. So thank you so much. I'm gonna let you go. We're gonna come back and we're gonna have some Overwatch.
Bye.
Uh,
Thank you.
yeah. Bye.
thank you.